Hello, everybody.
Hello. Are we live, Marie?
We are live.
Okay. I didn't know if it was we were just recording or if we are live because I'm going to share it here.
Okay, we're live, sister.
All right. Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, yay.
I'm going to share this out.
Awesome. Get this. How fun. It's so
I'm
nice to
so
see you
excited.
again, my sister.
Yes. Happy early birthday
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow is my birthday. So shout out to all the Geminis and the June babies. Happy birthday.
Yes. I am just going to make sure that everyone can see us.
Thank you. I know. Let's see. I'm going to change my angle just a little bit. That's better. Nobody needs to see the crack in my shelves. Well, where the two shelves meet together. Okay.
I love the candles that you made today too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, those are from my friend Lena, her daughters. In fact, I'm bringing those to her after this.
Okay. I think we are good. All right.
So,
What are my notes?
today's going to be fun, at least fun for us to talk about. I hope it's fun to
Yeah.
listen to.
I feel like we've been talking about this episode since before we even started the podcast.
I feel like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And we
Feels
kind
long.
of threw it together like an hour before too.
You know,
So it'll
hey,
be
Kate,
it'll
you
be
want to
really
talk
good.
about ghosts today?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Kate and I just kind of wanted to chat about our paranormal experiences. I feel like everybody, even if you're a skeptic or you're a non believer in ghosts and paranormal, I feel like everybody has had something that they've gone, wait a second, is that a coincidence? Or did I just see or hear what I just think I saw or heard? Don't you feel like that, Kate? Like
Yeah,
everybody has something.
everybody. Yes, it's, like you said, even skeptics. Like I've had the few that I want to mention tonight. Those were just, and they've been on my mind like my whole life. I've always thought about them. I've never forgotten, and I'm excited to share them because I feel like I want to know if other people have experienced it as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And chances are they probably have or have something similar. Um, and I feel like I mean, I want to ask you about what your earliest memory of anything paranormal is, but before that, I just want to and I know we agree on this that children are so open before they've gotten any of that like parental programming that no, that's just an imaginary friend or you're just making things up or it's just your imagination. I believe that children are so open to spirits and seeing maybe grandma who's passed on that comes in to check on them or what have you.
Mhm.
um so I know that both of our experiences started in childhood, so I'd love to hear about your very first experience.
Yeah, so I agree, Marie. I think everyone's born awake and we just forget as we're told, oh, that's just your imagination. We just slowly forget and turn it off. So, my earliest experience that I remember is I was sleeping. My brother and I used to share a bedroom, and it was like it was a basement, and we had bunk beds. I was sleeping on the top, he was sleeping on the bottom. And I open my eyes one night and I look at my closet that's right in front of where we're sleeping, and there's a shadow figure, a really tall, 6, 7 foot shadow figure staring at me.
Ooh.
And I screamed so loud. I was awake. I know that I was awake. I was screaming and screaming, Mom, everyone in the house, my brother below me, and no one woke up.
And how old
And
were you again?
I was probably 6 or 7.
Oh my goodness.
Um, what was weird though is I understood for this inner knowing that no one would hear me. So I was screaming and screaming, but I didn't feel threatened. It was more, it scared me because it was the first time I had seen an apparition. And I I never really understood it, and then I don't remember what happened, if I finally fell asleep, if I even could. Um, but I've looked it up in the past, and there's a lot of people that have shadow figure experiences, and the one that I came up with that actually resonated with, and I'm still trying to figure it out, is visitations from versions of yourself. Because I think about the time I grew up in a really, my mom, she worked all these jobs, but we grew up in a really, it was a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, and there was a lot going on. And I feel like this was protection because, again, I didn't feel threatened. It caught me off guard. It scared me. So I'm still trying to figure out what it was, but what resonated when I heard it was that it was a version of myself visiting myself, which I still don't fully understand. But when I heard it, there was something in it that felt true. Like that was what it was.
Wow, that's so interesting. And I mean, there are I think quite a good slice of people out there that believe that there are, multi dimensions, multi um, i- i- timelines that we're kind of living simultaneously or in perpetuity in different areas all at once. There's a future self, a past self that we may be living parallel lives in parallel universes. There's so many different theories out there. So, who's to say that wasn't a version of yourself just
Yeah.
coming in to check on you,
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like it was this 6 or 7 foot shadow figure, which is terrifying. I got chills just hearing you say that. And why is it always a closet?
Or why at night? That's exactly. I'm like, uh and the creepy part was that I think what scared me was the fact that no one could hear me. I think that's what scared me.
Wow.
And like I was screaming.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
eventually stopped. It didn't go away. It stood there for a really long time.
Kate, stop screaming. I'm not going to go away
I'm
until you
not
stop
leaving
screaming.
until you go to sleep. You're protected.
But
So
as a 6 or 7 year old, like obviously that's startling to see it. But then when you realize that you can remember back and had kind of the wherewithal, even in your 6 or 7 year old mind, that you didn't feel threatened by it.
yeah.
It's terrifying to see it, but then it's like it almost, you were not calm. I mean, well, not scared after, even though you were screaming, but that you still had that sense of that it wasn't there to hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, what about you? What was your earliest memory?
Um, it's hard to pinpoint because I remember like lots of little things, but the one that I think I'll talk about that was more of note than any other experience at the time. So, I was 8 years old. My stepdad was a federal cop, so he got transferred from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. And we lived in Fairfax, Virginia. And I still remember the address, but I won't say it because, it's for privacy. I'm sure there's very lovely people living there now. So I was in the third grade, and the house just had a very strange feel all the time. It felt like you were being watched all the time. And I had two little brothers, and they seemed to be oblivious to it. Um, my mom and stepdad, like nobody seemed to notice that but me. So, um, like when you pull in the carport and you go in, you're on the top level, and then it was kind of built into a hill. So then you go downstairs and it's the finished basements. And you guys back east are more used to that style of home than out here or even in California, right? You guys have the basements and which is such a cool thing. I thought it was a really neat place to go. Like we had enough furniture to furnish the top, but then downstairs was more like just our playroom. It was like storage, and there was just like a wing back chair and a small TV. And then um that was kind of like the bigger room, and then in the middle, which had a door that shut off to it, was just this little hallway that had an extra refrigerator. Off of that was the laundry room, and then through it, like, it was like a square. One side went out to the garden, one side went out to the laundry room, and the if you just kept walking through is to this extra bedroom that was down there. And it was odd. It was painted a blue, like a dark sky blue, and it had this ram painted on the wall.
Hmm.
And so it all intents and purposes, it looks like a boy's room. The ram was kind of cartoonish, but it looked a little scary, but didn't look like ritualistic or anything. It
Mhm.
was like a boy's room. So one day after school, I had kind of like had enough of my brothers bothering me, and I wanted to go take a nap. And I don't know why I didn't go into my room. Maybe my brothers wouldn't leave me alone if I was upstairs, but I went into this room, and it was, in the early afternoon when you get home from school, and um, it seemed peaceful. So we had a bed and a dresser in there. Um, and I was asleep on the bed, and, didn't realize I fell asleep, woke up to the bed shaking, like really shaking. And having grown up in California, I'm thinking earthquake, but we're in Virginia. So it was like I'm woken out of a deep sleep, and it had turned from afternoon to kind of twilight, it was like
Mhm.
almost dinner time. And I'm like, earthquake? What? Wait, I'm not in California. So um let my eyes kind of adjust to the failing light in the room. And down at the foot of the bed, there was, headboard, and over the footboard were these fingers that were, and just like the top of a head like this.
Oh,
And when I looked, it stopped shaking. It was shaking my bed. Oh my god, I got
I have
chills just
chills.
even thinking about it. I swear, I want to do like hypnotherapy regression and go back to that.
Huh.
It happened. So and it was like leathery, long, bony kind of fingers. And the head, what I could see was it had very deep set dark eyes, very like leathery clay kind of skin and stringy hair. And it would only stood, like 6 inches above the footboard, right? So it's just a little troll guy or something. And so here I am waking up, the bed's shaking, and then I look down and it stops, and it's just like looking at me. And like you, I didn't feel threatened. I felt at that moment like it was waking me up because it wanted to play, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
But
so kidding,
yeah, and but I still have chills because what the hell was that thing?
right?
Woo,
I can
you
almost
could
see
feel
it,
my
Marie.
arms.
Yeah, like when you describe it, it reminds me of like a Brian Froud image of like an
Yeah,
elemental being.
yeah, exactly. It was, oh, so interesting. But of course, I'm 8 years old. I'm freaking out. I bounded from the bed all the way to the door and ran upstairs. And I have no memory of anything after that. I don't believe I went up and told my mom. I don't think I ever talked about it until my friend Cheryl and I were now, fast forward to we're adults and we're hiking, and I'm in my early 20s, and we're just hiking, and we just start talking about ghost stories, and I tell her that, and she was like, "Wait a second. Where was this again?" And I said it was in Fairfax, Virginia, cuz she grew up in Illinois, and we're both in California at the time. But um she said, "Oh my God, my sister and I had a very similar thing in our bedroom growing up." And she said they had the little cute little twin beds with the dust ruffle, in the room that they were
Mhm.
sharing. She said something like what I described would run back and forth underneath their beds.
What?
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
terrible.
like, "You saw it?" And she said, "Yeah, we both saw it, and we would just pull the covers up and just hope that it didn't see us." And I said, "Well, did you feel threatened by it? What did you feel? Like, did it ever hurt you guys or like hop up on your bed?"
No.
And she goes, "No, it seemed like it was just like, come play with me." And
Wow.
I'm like, How is this possible?" She had an experience, in that back east-ish, I guess Illinois is kind of Midwest, but um, yeah. So
Wow.
that was that. And I had another experience in the house, but I mean, I can save that for like another time. But that one was pretty significant.
Yeah, and what's even like that is creepy. And then about your friend, the fact that they both saw it, the
Yeah,
sisters.
Sister Tracy, we talked about it all together. Yeah.
Wow.
And
That is
they
great.
they had a little bit more of a scary experiences that she said, even one time she goes, I don't know if it was the same thing, but obviously there was something in our house. She said that they were woken up one night by down the hall in mom and dad's bedroom, that dad just was screaming at the top of his lungs like bloody murder. And she said we heard like little footsteps, but they didn't know if it was that thing or if it was maybe their like, I don't know, but that dad just started screaming. And I don't think they ever talked about it because the parents were like not open to that.
Yeah. I can only imagine how much more terrifying it would be if you're not open to it and you can't like know that you're protected, know that you have your bubbles, that does make it more
Mhm.
scary.
Right. Ah. So
So let's
well,
see.
let's see. So let me see, Kate. I want to ask you, 'cause I just think you're such a brilliant psychic and medium, and you practice all the time, and that is the key. People is practicing, so it becomes like second nature to you, and you don't question yourself quite as much. But when, like, how old were you? Do you think when you kind of started to figure out that you had some psychic ability or intuition or gifts that way?
I think a lot of it was my tuning into others' energy. When I could read people's energy because it was like a survival. It was like a survival thing. Like I could read people's energy and I would know if I could trust someone or not. But I feel like another experience I had where I knew that I was different. And I'm actually writing a children's book about this right now. Um, my dad's an artist, and we were in the art store downtown Petoskey, Michigan, and we went in there. He had to get some art supplies. I went over to look at the dollhouse furniture, and I saw this door, and I went in it, and I remember walking through this like tour. It was like an art tour. And I was the only one in there. It was kind of dark. It wasn't creepy. It was really interesting. I remember walking through the whole thing. I don't remember leaving, and for some reason, my dad wasn't with me. And then I don't remember if it was a while later, but I asked him if we could go back, and he said, "I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't remember that." Um, so I like went through this door, and that door's not there. I went back to find it, and it wasn't there. So like, what was weird is it was all art. And I always wanted to be an artist like my dad. I thought, I'm not artistic because I can't draw like him. So I feel like this was just an awakening of artistic. I don't even know what it was. But, anyways, I went back. I couldn't find the door. My dad had no idea what I was talking about. I don't remember leaving. That's happened to me before as well. We can get into that when we talk about more. But that was when I realized that I had an experience, and I feel like that was more of my accepting and being open to it. Um, and I wanted to do it again. I wanted to go through this portal or door, whatever it was. Um, it was just, that was interesting. I want to say that was when I realized that I was different. Maybe not
Mm.
understanding that I had abilities. I would say I do remember when I thought I realized I had abilities. It was when I was living in that haunted farmhouse. I wrote about it in Angel Magic. We were having terrifying experiences. My son saw ghost cows outside all the time,
Mm.
and a man he would see in his room. Well, I would feel certain ways in certain areas of the house. This is before I didn't know I had any abilities. I was always fascinated by mediumship. So I got one night I was holding my baby. He wouldn't sleep. He didn't sleep for like a year. So I was holding him, rocking him, and I felt a man. I just knew it was a man, angry, like rage, like breathing on my neck. Like he was so mad I was standing in that room. I was so terrified. I woke up my husband and I'm like, you need to wake up and just stand up with me. I can't be up by myself. So we called a local medium to come in, and he told me where he was picking up on spirits. He was very detailed in what he was picking up, and sure enough, it's the exact same areas that I would see this, whatever he was seeing, a man, a woman. I'm like, wow. So I already saw it. I knew it was just so subtle. You think it's just thoughts, but they're really not. So that's when I realized, and that's when I learned about angels as well, because he told me he was working with Archangel Michael to clear it out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that's a good point to bring up about like the subtleness of stuff sometimes. Um, it's not always going to be like fanfare
Yeah.
around something like signs or even visitations or, I see. And I wonder though, if what you guys had, because I'm trying to think of what type of haunting that would have been. Like, was that an imprint? Was he just there and he was like, almost like the a record playing over and over, maybe with the cows, because why would cows come back to haunt?
Right. He said it
Yeah.
was. He said it was residual
Yeah.
energy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking up on.
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that you felt something from him doesn't sound residual, you know?
Yes, that though, that was different.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in his bedroom, which was my bedroom at the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I just didn't understand what to do or how to get rid of it. And once he was in there, it was like everything just clicked.
Yeah.
Everything clicked. Um, and yeah, like you were saying too, it's very rarely do you ever see an apparition. Like, I'm an angel and I'm here standing next to you. What do you need to know? That's not how it works. It's always,
Right.
I mean, it's just your clairs. You figure out what your most developed clair is, and you develop it further. You can also reawaken other clairs like clairaudience, clairsentience,
Hmm.
claircognizance. So,
Yeah. I'm always wanting more clair voyance, because
mhm.
mine is like clairaudience and clairsentience. And I'm always asking to be like, show me things, show me so I can
Mhm.
see. But then you have to interpret what you see, which
Yeah,
can get a little sticky because they're sending you symbols and
yes,
you have to know what the symbols mean,
with your
you
own
know.
psychic library.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
that man was just like, hey lady with your baby, get out of my room. I want
Yeah,
to get down to my skivvies and just have a beer before
yeah.
I go to bed.
Your
I have
baby's
to get
keeping
up
me
and do my
awake.
cows.
So,
Oh
what
my god.
about you, Marie?
Um, let me see. I do remember my dad was from Santa Barbara and or Goleta, which is just outside Santa Barbara. So we would go from Marin County down to visit my grandpa, and my step grandmother had passed away. And I remember being at grandpa's house, and I was sleeping on the couch,
Sorry, my
and
dog.
I know dogs. I'm waiting for my dogs to start barking at something. They're peacefully sleeping on the couch right now. Um, but I remember like laying on the couch, and I saw my grandma Rosemary come out of the kitchen with a kitchen towel. And she was kind of like wiping her hands and looking around and went back in. She didn't notice me. Um, but she looked like what you think a ghost would look like. She was kind of illuminated, but she had head to toe definition, it was pretty cool. And so, you know, I told my family the next day, and my stepmom at that point in my life was a very gifted psychic, and kind of started me on this whole path when I was young. But um, she confirmed it. She said, "Oh yeah, I've seen her too. She's around here." But the fact that she came out and just sort of took a look around, didn't notice me, makes me think that that's just residual, right?
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
She probably does that all the time, and it was just very sweet. It was comforting to me. It wasn't scary or anything. In fact, I think I was a little miffed at the time that she didn't notice me.
Yeah.
Hey, right here, just say hi.
Just doing what she normally would do.
Yeah,
Just,
just cleaning up, checking on
mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I tune in for people, sometimes it's almost always, sometimes if people are having issues in their house, they'll send me a picture of the room and I can tell them what I pick up on. And most of the time, it's just they're doing what they usually did, like as if they were still alive. It's not like they're standing there waiting for me to give a message. They're just doing, it's that residual.
Yeah. I think that's got it, because energy is so strong. And I just think that the imprints are there and they stay there. It's just interesting.
Hmm. Yeah.
But well, what do you think is, like, if you can think back, like, in terms of paranormal experiences, what do you think has been the scariest one that you've had?
Um, Let me think. I had one. I want to say that it would have been the haunted house. The house.
Did other things happen besides?
Yeah. It was just I always sensed people staring at me, and it was so the staring was so strong that I wouldn't want to leave the baby in the nursery. Like I felt like I was leaving my baby with a stranger. Like it was just very it was really uncomfortable. And um I would even get, and this maybe isn't even related, but right before I went into labor, I would just see colors in front of my face. And I was afraid that it was the house messing with my pregnancy. Like it was just the whole situation freaked me out. Um, so, I mean, I've experienced a lot of feelings, but not so much that I can remember because the house I grew up in was, we feel the one where I saw the shadow figure, we feel that that whole spot was just very dark. It was on an original Indian burial ground. So every, and I don't want to get into too much
Poltergeist
detail
house.
because my mom, she watches. I don't want to get too much into her personal stuff, but basically every man that ever lived there went crazy or
Oh.
they died. They ended up
Hmm.
in jail. Relationship didn't work out. It was always the men. And I'm not just, and this is not just um, adult men, my brothers, same thing. Um, So and then also our friends lived down the road and we were talking, we did kind of like a little ghost tour of where we grew up. My mom and I, it was like a healing process. We drove down the road around the corner to the other house that my friends were having experiences in, and no one was home. No one lived there. And my aunt was telling me this was also Native American ground. And right when we stopped and parked outside, the door opened and shut. So, and they were like, it was just confirmation for us that they're saying, yes, go away. So I feel like it was the property, but I've also had other experiences, but not so
The
many
doors
creepy.
open, like, come in. No.
No, go away.
Go away.
Yes, you're correct. Go away. So that whole area is just, I don't know. It's beautiful, but it was just a lot of trauma and a lot of sadness.
What was the area? I'm just wondering if we have people who are listening that maybe
Yeah, well, I'm
can
sure there's a
relate.
lot of people from Michigan that listen. This Clarion is a little tiny spot near Walloon Lake. So everyone that's watching from Michigan probably knows what Walloon Lake is. I grew up right there, so that whole area, that Clarion area, there's a cemetery there. My brother and I used to play in the cemetery all the time. But it was our property specifically that just terrible things happened there. It was never not really ever any good memories. And while my mom always had the best intentions and she tried, it was just always chaos and just a lot of bad things happened. So,
Yeah.
and what's really crazy is that house, I don't know if anyone bought it again, but it's been for sale. If someone will buy it, they'll live there for a couple years and then they move. So
Interesting.
I don't think it was just us. And then my uncle, my grandpa gave all this property to our family. I forgot to mention this. My uncle built a house right next to ours. It burned down twice before he had to walk away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like something in the land. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
interesting. We need Lloyd to help us figure this out.
I know. I can't wait to talk to him, especially about these experiences that we're going to be sharing. What the experiences we shared. I want to know more about what his experience and what he thinks it is.
Yeah.
Because I've had
So
like where I've lost time, like not just walking through the whatever it was, the portal, but walking. We went to youth group one night, and it was like a night where there's loud music and strobe lights. I walk in, we were getting ready to go somewhere, um, and I blacked out. I didn't
oh,
remember what happened the rest of the night, or I don't remember. I like basically woke up in the morning. I don't know how I got home. I don't know what we did. Apparently, we were on a bus and we left and went somewhere, but I don't
and
know what
how
happened.
old were you?
I was probably 8.
Oh, so no chance, like just to debunk, like no chance of you getting roofied or like anything like
No,
that.
no.
No.
And I also just was tested for seizures, and I do not have seizures. So,
Awesome.
so it
Yeah.
wasn't a seizure.
That's
So,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's good to just kind of try to think. I mean, I always say I'm a healthy skeptic.
yeah.
People see orbs and what they think are orbs. Oh my God, it's like that it has wings though and a little face. That's a bug.
Yeah. I caught a fairy in my camera.
I mean, I believe in both.
Mhm.
There's unexplained things, but then some things are very explainable. But I want to take the opportunity, since we talked about Lloyd, is I want to just read you guys a little bit. I had to just look at his Wikipedia page, and from what I saw, it's very accurate. I'll just read a little paragraph because Lloyd Auerbach is there's just too much to tell, like his accomplishments, what he's done, the history in the paranormal field. Um, he's an adjunct professor at Atlantic University. Still, I think he teaches at the Rhine Institute, which is an online um, college for like parapsychology and that sort of stuff. And there's a whole history of Rhine. Um, he's also a chocolatier. He's just been on documentaries and shows, and he is the professor paranormal. So I'm gonna just read this because I can't remember. I mean, everything that he's accomplished. It's too
Yeah,
vast. So
I read that too, and there is a lot.
there's a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
So he's a friend. He graciously agreed to come be on our podcast. So we want you guys to stay tuned. June 9th. We're gonna go live. We're gonna talk to Lloyd about all things paranormal, and towards the end we'll do a little question and answer. So make sure you're on the platforms where you can comment. So Lloyd Auerbach is a parapsychologist, paranormal investigator, and mentalist. He has appeared on television shows that profile ghost hunting and other paranormal topics, and is the author of several books on ghost hunting, parapsychology, and other paranormal subjects, as well as co author of the Rainy Day Investigation novels. He was a columnist for Fate magazine. As a mentalist, he performs under the name Professor Paranormal. He's also a chocolatier, offering chocolate tasting classes and products through his website, Haunted by Chocolate. He has a YouTube channel where he comes on and he does a Q&A for people. And Kate, are we able to can we post the link to his
I
YouTube?
will. Yeah, I
Yeah,
will. Let me
because he
see. I'll do
starts.
that right now in the comments on Facebook and on.
Okay,
He's actually doing this tonight.
he's doing this tonight. What
Yeah,
time is it Pacific time?
I
Because he's a
believe it's.
very
Oh, let
six
me.
five,
I'll
maybe
look.
it's okay. But basically you can go to YouTube to Ask Professor Paranormal /streams.
Okay,
So
and
we're
I'm putting this in
very
the comments now
okay, perfect.
and on Facebook, and then I'll do the same for YouTube.
Yeah, so that'll be on tonight. um and interesting, people ask good questions. He always talks, I mean, any questions you have about paranormal investigating, he teaches these courses about anything related to parapsychology, from history to um, current haunted places, and how he does things, and how important it is to be a healthy skeptic and approach from a scientific method. Like it's just, yeah, he's pretty amazing. So we are very, very blessed to have him as a guest June 9th.
That is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. So
Yeah.
yeah, any questions that you have for Lloyd about anything parapsychology, ghost hunting, that's you'll want to get them ready, and you can actually comment while we're live and ask questions.
Yeah. Or send them in ahead of time at mindfulmagicchannel@gmail.com, and we will ask them during the broadcast.
Scheduled. Okay, I was just looking up the details of his. It doesn't tell me what time. It says just scheduled for June 1st. But if you go and you like it and you follow him, you'll get notified when he goes live.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Geez,
say
I
what.
want to. It's either 5 or 6 Pacific time.
Yeah, because I remember when I went and watched him last month, it was 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
So 5 o'clock,
Okay, so
right?
8 o'clock Eastern Standard, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock Pacific,
Yes.
2 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time.
Yeah.
So, what about my scariest paranormal experience?
Can it top the one you just said? Does it top the one?
Right? I know. Well, I think that I want to chat about Zach Bagan's haunted museum.
Yeah.
I think that was interesting. Now, I went with our dear friend Lori. And I hope Lori's watching.
Hi,
Lori,
Sister
you can
Lori.
comment about this. And oh, are we getting comments? Sorry, I don't have
Oh,
comments.
wow. I'm not even looking either.
Oh, okay. Wait, let's take a moment and just see, because I'm only on this one platform. Kate's our comment
Okay.
goddess.
So I'm looking at everywhere because we're on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So I think since you're going live on, you're like the main one for our recording right now. I think you should be able to see all the comments that come up. If you look over, are you on your laptop?
Okay. I'm not seeing any. But you know what? We're kind of new to going live. We use the
Yeah.
Riverside streaming platform, so we're still trying to learn it.
Yeah, I tried to do that by myself the other day.
Oh, you should
It
be
didn't
able
work.
to.
Yeah, I could have. It was just I didn't angles and all that, and I had to use a different webcam. So I'm like, no, we're gonna try this. We're gonna circle
Okay.
back and do this again.
I know. Kate and I were like, we have to have the angle up, so we're looking up because we don't want like double chins.
No. Take a few
um,
years off.
yeah, that was my doing. Um, But anyhow, sorry if we're missing comments, we will try to catch up. But please, if you do have any questions you would like to submit to Lloyd Auerbach, just email those to mindfulmagicchannel@gmail.com and we'll make sure to ask him when we're live. So I really hope Lori is watching. She's in Mount Shasta right now, so I'm very jealous of her. But we went to Vegas. My husband was there with us. It was my first trip to Vegas. And it was, I want to say, like, dang, was it during the pandemic or after? I honestly can't remember. I have long COVID, so my memory is a little foggy. I just realized that's such a good excuse too. You can tell anybody COVID. How I don't remember. No, but it's true.
Okay.
Um, so Lori brought us on this trip to Vegas, and so as a thank you, I wanted to give her a VIP tour of Zach Bagan's haunted museum. I just thought it would be cool. You know, he's got some cool artifacts in there, and just to see what we could see. And there's a lot of, you know, showiness to it. Like there was a scary clown following us around to scare the people that were in the back of the line, and you know, they give a good experience. So, hmm, the house itself, if I remember right, so forgive me if I'm misquoting or not remembering quite the right words, but the house itself that Zach purchased was um, back in the 70s used as a satanic ritualistic place. And who is, there's a porn star, Jenna. Oh boy, I better look it
Jameson?
up.
Is it Jenna? I don't
Jenna
remember.
James. I don't know. I can't remember. I think sorry, I gotta look it up, you guys.
How dare you not know a porn star's name?
Right? I know. I know everybody. I just want to get this right. Oh, Jenna Jameson. Okay, I knew it was something like that. So, um, if I remember the stories right, that they told us, you know, during the show, is that her family lived there, obviously before she became a porn star. Kid. And her and her brother, they had some paranormal experiences in the house, but it was in the basement that apparently, allegedly, her parents and some potentially coven members or some people did some darker style rituals. So they reserve now. Fast forward to Zach Bagan's purchases the house. He even talked to her and the brother about kind of corroborating stories. Um, and it's only in the VIP tour that you get access to the basement. So of course I'm going to do that for
Yeah, of course.
Lori and for me. And my husband is he believes in this and he supports me, but he would rather not be immersed in it all the time like we are. So I respect that, but he wanted to go, and we had a very interesting experience, and we actually made a YouTube about it. We can try to link that somewhere because it's like we just talked for 45 minutes about our experience. So I'll way condense it here. But um we got access to go down to the basement, and we were warned by the tour guide to not stay down there very long, to go talk to the spirit box, to look at Bella Lugosi's mirror, you know, and supposedly you look in the mirror and you see things behind you. Um, and then to go into the ritual room, which had a pentagram uh, painted on the floor, and it was just a cement basement room. There was really not much to it, except they did have a spirit box going in the corner. Um, and I just remember the tour guide saying, don't stop, just kind of circle through, do a little talk to the spirit box, and come back up. And we were like, "Oh, you're not coming down with us?" She goes, "No, I will not come down there." And at the time, I'm like, "Is that part of the show?"
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. So we went down, and there was another couple that had part of that VIP tour package. And then the only other people in the group was this family of five, and they stayed back. They didn't have that part, so they had to wait for us. The couple came and they circled really quickly and they went back upstairs. But Lori and I are like, "Oh, we're going to talk to the spirit box."
Yeah,
You guys don't want to
of
hear
course.
this? They're like, "No, no, 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 no." I totally walked past Bella Lugosi's mirror, which I had actually wanted to see, but I missed it. I don't know how I walked past it, but we talked to the spirit box, and I think Lori asked it how many spirits are there. And I want to say, and I wish Lori, we're going to have her on at some
Yes.
point to talk about this. I think it said 21. There were like 21 spirits, at least according to the spirit box. Now, was it a real spirit box? Was it part of the show? Did it have pre-recorded responses? I have no idea. It appeared to be a normal spirit box. So I was drawn to the top point of the pentagram. And I said, "I feel like people were hurt down here." And Lori's like, "Yeah, I feel like there were people harmed here." Now, I don't know if they did ritual sacrifice or maiming or hurt or anything like that. I really don't know what that was all about, but there felt like there was trauma down there. And I was just drawn to stand at the point of the pentagram. And I remember my husband to the right of me, Lori to the left, and we each had our own experiences. I personally felt that um, I was there just trying to sort of channel some, divine, beautiful, healing type light to the area. I didn't know what else to do with it. But definitely putting up my barriers because I didn't want to take anything home. Um, and I remember standing there kind of with my arms outstretched and trying to really focus energy just into the center of the room, is where it seemed to be like concentrated darkness. And I'm there, and it feels like I'm being sucked into the middle of this pentagram. It felt
Wow.
like my everything was being like just drawn into it. And I kind of felt like I was falling. And I remember my husband came and he grabbed me, and
Wow.
he's like, "Whoa." And then all of a sudden, we have this lights in our eyes, these flashlight going all over the place. And it's like, what is going on? The tour guide lady had come down And she's like, "What are you guys doing?" She was so mad at us, which was really irritating. But I told you to come, come right back up. What do you We're like, how long were we down here? It felt like 2 minutes. It felt
Wow.
like 2 minutes. Like we did it. We asked a message to this, or a question to the spirit box, and then we did this thing, and I was right there. I still don't know how long we were down there, but long enough where she, who doesn't come down there, had to come down and get us.
Wow.
And then she was just mad at us for the whole rest of the trip. I was apologizing to the people, like, "I'm so sorry. I don't know how long were we there?" And they're like, "No, no, no, it's okay." They were very gracious, but she was very mad at us, as Lori will attest to whenever Lori's on here. But so that was my experience of just feeling like I was getting sucked into the middle of this thing. My husband said that he felt like he was standing there too. He felt like he grew like twice the size of himself.
Wow.
And he's never had an experience like that. He felt like he grew to twice the size of himself, and he was the protector. He was
Hmm.
watching over me, he was watching over Lori, and he wasn't going to let anything happen to us. He could see some type of energy attached to me that was like he saw me going in. He saw me. I would have fallen, and he grabbed me. And then that's when the lady came down. And then I want Lori to tell her own story when we were there. But um I've had some other scary experiences, like going to um you know like investigations and stuff, and feeling a hand on my shoulder, feeling breath on the back of my neck and stuff. But this was probably the most scary one, because I lost time. We all lost time collectively. And I don't know what would have happened if my husband wasn't there to grab me, you know,
Wow. It's
fallen, but
like his higher self stepped in because, like you said, he's open, but he's not. He doesn't. If he
yeah,
just did that, that's just
he
amazing,
was
just
tripping
naturally.
out. He was
Yeah, I
tripping
bet.
out about the whole thing. Like, wow, because we all went back to like our hotel room after, and we needed a drink. We were like, I need a bit. What the hell just happened? We had to
Yeah.
debrief, like,
Were
well,
you
what
able to record, Marie? Like, were you able to record inside the house?
you can't bring
That
no,
makes
you can't.
sense.
Yeah, so we did a little thing outside, and then when we got back to the hotel room, we recorded our speaking about our experiences, and then just made that into a little YouTube thing just to document it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. If you send that, I can get that uploaded if anyone wants to watch it. I watched it. You sent it to. I've
Yeah.
watched it before, so I can upload that
What
if
was
any.
your take on it? I just am curious. You
I
what
love how you naturally wanted to send healing light there, but I was also feeling when you were talking that the negative energy was so potent. It was like a dark portal almost is what I was picking up on. That if I feel like if the three of you would have intentionally went in there and set that intention beforehand to do that together, that it would have been different, a
mm,
different experience.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was picking up on that, like when you were saying the trauma there, definitely. And I also want to know what it would mean. And what stood out to me was when you said you were drawn to the point,
Mhm.
like you were trying, like you wanted to, like naturally you wanted to go to the main point. I just love that. So
Yeah.
the healing
Because it
abilities
felt
are just.
like I needed to be in control of
Mhm.
the energy there. Like I wanted to sort of embrace it all and
Yeah.
put it in a good place.
I
Yeah.
think you and Paul and Lori together could have done something, done more. But the fact that you were like alone in that intention was just too much.
And they got like rudely waken up by this lady doing her, like, shining her flashlight in our eyes in a dark room. Like, you're lucky I didn't, you know, put the
Yeah.
flashlight somewhere.
She's probably picking up on some, like, if she's got to be in that house all the time, she's probably grouchy just for that reason.
Yeah. Well, and there's like, I mean, again, I'm a healthy skeptic, but I did enjoy that Zach Bagans museum a lot. He has a Dybbuk box in there. He's got oh god, this was creepy. John Wayne Gacy's, like, he had the actual bed where he had tortured people. Like there were some
Mhm.
very dark exhibits in there that were very hard to be around. And again, that's me being a bearer of light.
Yeah,
I tried to, um, yeah, he's been a pretty decent collector of things. I would recommend, taking a tour of the place. You can't bring, um, you can't take pictures inside or video,
that
but
makes sense. When you said they did that, I wonder if he can. Is there this? I haven't looked into this, but isn't there a rumor going around, or isn't this happening where the Annabelle doll is lost?
I saw a blurb
Like,
about that.
so I'm like,
Annabelle
maybe
is
Zach can
missing.
find it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I'm like, is this a stunt?
Yeah,
That's just me, like always being a little skeptical of everything. But
yeah. I'm
um,
also a believer in you create your own reality, and you can, if you're protected, you're protected.
right.
You know, I just don't. I choose not to, like, for a doll or something. Not that I don't believe that that happens, that dolls are haunted and things are haunted, but I don't allow my energy to, go there in any way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I wouldn't want to steal Annabelle. I'm okay
No,
without Annabelle in my life, whether it's true or not. It's just I don't think I would sleep.
no, I wouldn't. My
There's
husband's
too much.
terrified of dolls. He would never.
Well, and there's, another, I mean, we can get into like tulpas another time, but you were talking about our thoughts create reality, and there have been entities, thought into being, and
Mhm.
very dark negative ones. So that is a real, I believe anyway, a very real
I do
thing.
too.
So
I want to talk to Lloyd about that, actually, about what
yeah,
we can create with fear and worry and anxiety, and how to reverse that. And if you can, which I assume you can, make it into something beautiful instead of, does that make sense?
yeah,
Instead of creating this negative energy, you know, something positive.
right, right. I mean, which we do when we manifest
We
things,
do. We
which
do.
is beautiful. Um, well, that's just about an hour. That went by really fast.
I did. Yeah.
And again, we apologize if we are missing comments on any of the platforms.
Yeah. A lot of
Okay.
times I'll see it after.
Right, right. We're going to get better at this, you guys. This is still a little new,
I
strange.
didn't even think to check the group. Someone commented. Hold on one second.
Okay,
Oh,
let's try.
someone, what was on my, someone, I just thought it would have been a cool one. We are live now. um,
Was
but
that
yeah.
did somebody have a question or?
No, they just commented they thought they missed it.
Oh,
So
yeah. Tell them if to tune in real quick and
yeah, that's what I said. We're here now. So
okay. Um, so let's say again that remind everybody that June 9th, we're going to go live with Lloyd Auerbach. I think the time is still to be determined, but we will post it well ahead of time. So please write in with your questions to mindfulmagicchannel@gmail.com. Anything paranormal related, mentalist related, even chocolate making related. Um, that's going to be a great podcast. It's going to be amazing, and we might need to have a part two because I don't know if we can cover everything in an hour. So
yeah.
we have to have Lloyd.
And if you're interested in learning about Lloyd ahead of time, his Wikipedia page, when I was reading his Wikipedia, I'm like, wow, he's on Netflix. Like, you can actually go watch him.
Yeah.
He's a guest on a show on Netflix. Of course, I can't think
Surviving
of
Death.
Surviving Death. So you can go check
Surviving
it out
Death.
on Netflix.
Uh,
Um,
is he on season 1, episode 5? I believe.
that
As is
sounds,
our friend Mariah, the
yes.
medium. She's on there as well, and she's going to be a guest on our podcast at some point. We got to get her on before she's going to do she's traveling to Europe to do ghost tours, to do
Oh,
investigation. I'm so jealous. I got to do that someday.
she's goals. That's what I want to do too.
Right?
That sounds
Goals.
amazing. I would love to do that.
Okay, we always end with you pulling cards. Do you want to do
I would
a
love
couple
to.
cards, like a couple, just even a collective, so since we don't have
Yeah.
people specifically to ask, but maybe
You
just
know,
a message for the day?
so I did not pull out a deck specifically for this episode, but what's right next to me, we have life purpose.
Nice.
So I never use this for live readings, but I have been for the past couple of days. It's just more detailed. So what do we need to know? Archangel Michael energy is very heavy. I'm starting to get hot, flush. Um, Whatever you work with, obviously the high vibrations cause you to feel warm, but Archangel Michael is really, really warm energy. So he's already popping in. A lot of it is he's saying protection, protection. He wants to remind us of how protected we are, especially when we intentionally set, place our bubbles, our shields. He's also calling it your energy back from things that freak you out. Have you ever done that, Marie? Have you ever been afraid after you watch something and you're home alone and you need to go to bed and you just got done watching a crime documentary? Or that happens to me. Ooh, it's already
Yeah.
coming out. So you can call your energy back from that.
I have to remember that. That reminds me really quick before you pull a card, something grabbed me the other night in bed, like something touched my leg. And I was, I look at that as, what do you need? Why are you wait? What do you need? But I was so tired that I was just like, can you just go away for now? I don't want to. I'm sorry, but like the shop is closed right now.
Yeah,
I needed to sleep, and then I kind of forgot to address it. So, you know, those are things, all the
yeah,
little things that we need to call our energy back and be whole about.
yeah. And for sure. And what he was saying too is he's really wanting us to realize that before us crime junkies, I love investigation discovery. I love Bailey Sarian's Murder Mystery Mondays. Remember that you can just shield your phone. If you're watching it on your phone, put a white bubble around your phone. So you're not absorbing any negativity before you watch a scary movie. You can place protection before you even watch or read an article or a video. It's always good to shield your phone. And then if you're freaked out or something upsets you, you can call your energy back. So that's what he's starting out with. Support. So this says your life purpose fully supports you. So this is letting you know that you are fully supported in all that you do. If you want to take chances, if you need to make a decision, know that you are 100% supported. Now, this is coming up because the path that we are meant to be walking on now, I don't know how to say that the right way, but is being shown to us very clearly. Decisive action we're being lovingly nudged to start taking decisive action. And also focusing on what it is that you want. So this is about trusting that what you feel is right. I'm getting this pain right here. So this is going to feel like something that you need to do, something that you need to take action on. So if any ideas that you are thinking about, businesses that you want to start, conversations that you want to have, communication has also been really, really big. Being mindful of your words. So we're also retraining and rewiring our brains at this time as well. So remember that everything you think and speak about yourself manifests. So just remember that. It's a double-edged sword. So you're supported to take action. You're always protected as well. Last card, travel. Focus on where you want to go. Weird, I was just saying how I want to go to Europe so bad. My soul yearns to be there, and our angels are wanting us to not worry about what we lack, what's going wrong. Start focusing on where you want to be, where do you want to go, and also pay attention to certain areas that you're drawn to in the world. My soul yearns to be in Ireland. And I feel like I've lived there and I just need to go back. This is letting you know if you feel that pull, you can study these cultures. You can watch movies that take place in those areas. This helps you tune into the land, even if you can't be there. Meditating on images. There's a reason that you're drawn to certain areas of the world. So if you can't physically travel there right now, you can go there through meditation. So anything else, Marie?
I love that. I love that. And um, I think that you're also speaking to our dear friend Mickey.
Yes.
Yes, she needs to do a little travel. She needs a little traveling in her life.
Yeah. What I love is the fact that we have this remembering. We're starting to remember, and the way that we don't realize that we're remembering, it's what we feel. It's what we're drawn to. What do we feel pulled towards? What should you be doing right now? Where do you want to travel to? It's all for a reason. So it's about trusting yourself and real. And also, what I'm hearing is to not make plans wrapped around someone else's goals. Focus on
That's
your
a
own.
good one.
I mean, it's good to weave yours together, especially with your husband. Like, he wants to do this, I want to do this. Let's do this together. But it's about you. Everything, it's about you first. I shouldn't say it's not all about you all the time, but it's about you first. Putting yourself first, and knowing that you're here for a purpose. So what you're drawn to, there is a reason for that.
Yeah, giving people permission to take care of yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. And as a mom, as moms, it's hard to even, it almost feels selfish sometimes, or it did for me for a while, that, give making sure I make time for myself, or saying I put myself first, but it's because we have to. You can't pour from an empty cup. And also, our children are watching how we take care of ourselves, putting other people
Very
before
good
us.
points.
Yeah.
Yep. You can't
Putting other
pour
people
from
in front of us isn't healthy for them to be watching you do either.
right. Lead by example. And I love that. You
Yeah.
can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not selfish, it's required.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a programming thing a lot for
Mhm.
women that it's selfish to take care of yourself when you've got others to take care of, but you can't take care of others unless you're taken care of. So,
Yes, for sure.
yeah. This was fun, Kate.
I love it. Always.
I love talking about ghost stories. We have so many more. So this was just a fun, you know, kind of open subject where we could talk about kind of our past experiences. I really love to hear about other people's experiences. So if you guys want to share those and we can read them here, please write to us at mindfulmagicchannel@gmail.com. Share your stories. Give us permission to share them on our live. We don't have to use your name unless you want to, but you know,
We would love to do that. And I feel like I was forgetting some when you're like, Kate, what was the scariest? And I know that I had one. I can't remember it. Like, my mind went blank. So it'll come
yeah,
to me. So it'll
there's
come to
too
me at the right
many,
time.
so you
Yeah.
said what you needed to say, what was, and I did too, and we'll be able to share those other ones later. They'll be appropriate for that
Yeah.
time.
And then
Yeah.
Joe will be coming back soon too. So if you enjoyed the episode with Joe, which was so much fun, he's so knowledgeable about just so much. So if you have questions for Joe, you can also email those to us too, because he will be coming back on as well.
Yeah. And Joe Punahu, he does his lives. You can go to Hawaiian Hauntings Facebook page, join up there, or just look for updates on Joe Punahu. He goes live quite a bit. He goes out to Judd Trail here on Oahu, and he gets quite a bit of activity. That guy draws it in. So yeah, we're definitely going to have him back on.
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being interested in the same subjects that we are. We appreciate all of you.
Yes. And we can't wait to hear from you.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. See
Until
you
next
next
time.
time.
All right.